Hey YouTube, it has been a while. I have been taking a nice long break from this space. I've been doing lots of astrology other places, focusing mostly on my membership and doing a bit of Instagram. But I was inspired today to talk about the upcoming Mercury retrograde because Mercury is going to turn retrograde next Friday on July 18th. I thought that could be a fun little video to do here with you guys, to pull up the chart and to really understand on a deeper level what this retrograde is about. I do think it's a powerful one, and we're going to talk all about it. But before I do that, just wanted to tell you a little bit about what I've been up to. It's been a long time since I posted like an official video to this space. When you do live streams here on YouTube, which I've done like maybe once a month or so, it doesn't actually post to your main feed. So, and there's no way to do that. So that's a little bit frustrating. So, some of you that actually see this may think I've been gone completely. I actually haven't been. I've been dipping in and out a little bit. I just don't think that it gets much visibility on here anymore. But I have been doing a lot other places. I run what is now blossoming into like a full-blown mystery school over on my website, coyotestarastrology.com. That's where I'm still doing weekly forecasts. They are sent to you by email every Sunday. It gets you all set up for your week ahead. But what we added in the last, 6 months or so, is these really fun mystery school community meetings. I've been weaving into them some intuitive skill building classes. We've had a few special guests on, most notably my friend Alyssa, who's a practicing medium, and we've been doing sort of like beginner skill building classes to open up our psychic abilities. I've been doing a few with students where we do flashcard drills with partners. We pair off into partners here on Zoom. Karen, who's a really good friend of mine, has come on and done a couple candle casting rituals for a couple. I think we've done 2 now, for a new moon and a full moon, and that we're actually going to do later this month for the new moon in Leo. So anyway, check out the space if you're interested. We're forming a really sweet little community over there, and I'm doing astrology, just not here. I may be popping in a bit more here on YouTube. It's been a nice break. I'm feeling a little bit re-inspired, and I'm actually rooting down here in Washington. I'm going to have more of a solid space, be a little bit less nomadic, so creating content will be a little bit easier for me. Okay, let's talk about this Mercury retrograde, shall we? I'm going to share my screen here. I'm actually recording this on Zoom so that I could do that. Boom. All right. So first of all, timing for this one. Pre-shadow began on June 30th. So we're a bit more than a week into the pre-shadow influence. For review, pre-shadow of a retrograde is where the planet in question, in this case Mercury, is walking through the degrees of influence that will take place within the retrograde. Retrogrades, we understand, are for slowing down, because it's often when we're encouraged to reconsider something, or something that we're trying to move forward with is experiencing some kind of a delay. It's where I sort of think of it as like the wires of the universe are sort of tangled up for a minute. And it's really not a good time to sign contracts, but it is a good time to slow down and to reconsider what it is we're doing. Then we look at the sign of the retrograde, and that gives us more information on the energies at play. In this case, we are talking about the sign of Leo, which we're going to talk about a lot in this video. But first, as I said, the timeline. So we started this on June 30th. Pre-shadow is just as important as the retrograde itself. So as of June 30th, we're on the journey. This coming Friday, July 18th, Mercury will station retrograde. I'm going to show you the degrees of that in this video. And I'll show you how to find it in your chart as well, because that's really like the pro tip, right? And that's really what I teach over on my membership. By the way, the membership, you get free access to a bunch of my videos, and I teach that as well, because that's really where astrology becomes more nuanced and more personalized to you, is if you start to understand how to put this in your own chart, right? August 11th, Mercury goes direct. So August, I'm calling the glow up month. August is when there's going to be this surge of warmth, this surge of solar plexus energy, because Leo rules the solar plexus, as we're about to find out. It rules the solar plexus chakra, energy center, and all of the things that we associate with that. So creative expression, confidence, self-worth, our ability to put ourselves out there confidently and shine our light in the world. That's very much coming into play right now, but because it's a retrograde, this can be bringing up sort of all the things that stand in our way around that. So anyways, your direct day is August 11th. So that beginning mid-August time, very, very potent time, when a lot of creative energy is gonna surge forward. But let's sink into Leo for a moment. So Leo is the sign that governs our creative expression, and it governs this from a very sort of innocent, childlike place. Leo actually rules children and like the joy and play of being a child, right? That innocence of sort of like before we've gone on our journey of life and things have gotten difficult, back when we used to just sort of dance without any inhibition, or paint or draw without worrying how it looked or what other people were going to think. We just sort of did so with abandon, right? And the creatives among us are those that have somehow managed to maintain their relationship to that very sacred innocence, right? And we see these people as being very brave or courageous, or at least I certainly do. And it is, in essence, pretty rare that human souls have the courage to express who they truly are with that abandon. And that is really like the power of Leo. The righteousness of Leo is the ability to just express one's true essence without inhibition. And I know we're sort of programmed to think of creativity as only having to do with art in the traditional sense of like painting or drawing or singing or whatever. But in astrology, creative expression literally means whatever that the soul blueprint, whatever that is, and its gifts and talents expressed outwardly. So like for me, for example, my primary expression would be astrology, and my journey of my fifth house in the Leo area of my chart has to do with my ability to remove all filters that stop me from expressing that in the purest sense, right? Becoming hollow bone, that spirit channel, so that that can drop in and come through in the way that it's meant to from source. Each one of you listening has your own unique code of expression, and all of us are able to express ourselves at varying abilities and capacities, not because some of us are more talented than others. Actually, astrology would suggest it's more like who has the courage to express themselves and who doesn't. Because we all have talents and gifts. They're all different, but we're all amazing, incredible beings, just by the fact that we're human, you know. Anyhow, so Leo governs our ability to express ourselves, but it also governs all of the shadows that threaten to destroy that ability. Things like self-loathing, lack of self-worth, insecurities of all shapes and sizes, whether that be a physical insecurity or an emotional one, thinking that we're not good enough, childhood wounds, traumas related to performance, all of this stuff is stored around the solar plexus energy center and is ruled by the archetype of Leo in astrology. People that are born with lots of Leo, contradictory to what a lot of people think, they are not necessarily free of insecurities. What they are here to do is to experience and evolve through the process of meeting all different aspects of expression, and some of that means exploring deep insecurities or exploring narcissism, which is actually like the deepest insecurity blown up and manifesting as some kind of distortion of confidence, and Leo kind of rules like the whole spectrum of like complete and utter lack of self-love to the point where we want to hide, and then the overblown sort of like self-deifying nature of like thinking that we're like a god or something like that, right? It rules the whole spectrum. And there's no way of looking at a chart how a person's going to express their Leo. It's dependent on the soul. Anyhow, so this Mercury retrograde and how it bringing it back, how it relates to us right now. This Mercury retrograde is bringing up what we're expressing in the world. So this is going to bring up creative projects, obviously, for some of us, or just thinking about what are my gifts, what are my talents, and what is stopping me from fully being me, fully shining my light into the world. For that reason, August can be a very creative time, because when Mercury goes direct, for many people, projects that have been brewing and kind of like seeding and in the fertile kind of soil of this, like, these ruminations of like, what do I want to create? Who am I? What is my unique spark? All of that will move forward in August, so we can draw some conclusions that August will be a very creative time. That said, another thing that can be coming up is looking at where we find our self-worth is dependent on validation from other people or our position in others' lives. This is because Leo, ruled by the sun, requires a lot of validation. It really does. The sun is in the center of the solar system. Everything revolves around it. And Leo, while it shines really bright, it really kind of needs other people to witness it. And honestly, it usually requires some kind of feedback, if it's energetically or otherwise, in order to kind of like feel self-secure and to sustain. The problem with that is that when Leo doesn't receive validation, or when Leo isn't placed at the center of, in this case, I'm putting in the context of another's affection, they can really lose their center there. So we can also be looking at where we feel knocked out of, or where we fear being replaced in someone else's life, where we don't feel like we're the center of their world anymore, where we feel that our sort of royal position in a situation is being dismantled, and what that can bring up. Now, what that of course brings up though is self-worth, because what Leo is learning is to find that validation within versus seeking it externally or relying on other people to provide that for them. So this is a deep plunge into self-value and self-worth and finding an unshakable and unwavering sort of wellspring of self-love within versus requiring other people to supply it for us. And this means doing some deep shadow work around the inner child and all sorts of stuff, right? So that's pretty much the gist of it. And I wanted to just real quick take you through some of the aspects of the retrograde to sort of get more detail on what this is going to feel like and why. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to June 30th. So technically, yeah, right here. So when Mercury entered pre-shadow, which is where it's going to go direct on August 11th, Mercury was making a very strong opposition to Pluto. This is what makes this retrograde, in my opinion, extremely powerful. Because the fact that Pluto is there means that the energy of Pluto is interwoven energetically with Mercury itself this whole time. It's like when the pre-shadow starts, anything that's touching that planet, it's like there's like an energetic connection that transfers through the whole transit. So to have Pluto very strongly placed there at the beginning, and then we know it's going to be there at the end as well, means that there's Pluto energy here. So that's Scorpio. So there's big transformative energy that's happening through this retrograde, but it's also bringing up some stuff from the underworld. So there's some darker shadow work here. Now, Mercury is also trine Saturn and Neptune. And I actually really like this because that means that considerations for this retrograde can definitely, and projects that move forward from this retrograde can have a big impact on our careers and goals. So I'm sure many people out there right now are thinking of ways to creatively enhance their careers right now, or something that they're building. Check the Saturn area of your chart as well. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you how to find this in your chart. That's right. Okay, we'll do that in a second. Okay, and then last but not least, it's a little bit hard to see here, but it will be very potent when Mercury goes direct, a sextile to Uranus. That's inviting in innovation. So creativity that is breaking in some new ground for you, self-love or expression that is breaking into some new ground for you, meaning you haven't done this before. This is like unique. This is new. This is smashing through the ceiling of what you have previously explored. Now, when Mercury goes retrograde, it's not really making any notable aspects that I saw. I'm going to double check that right now. Oh yeah, it's the 18th. Yeah, 18th, Friday. So Friday, July 18th, Mercury goes retrograde at 15 degrees Leo. If you have anything around 15 degrees of the fixed signs, that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, this is impacting you more. Let's extend that. Let's say if you have anything from approximately 1 to 18 degrees of the fixed signs that I just went through, this is impacting you more than otherwise would. What's Mercury doing when it goes retrograde? Not a whole lot. I mean, it's trine Ceres, asteroid Ceres, which I think is interesting because Ceres is the mother of Persephone, and normally this is expressed through grief of separation, but because it's a trine, I'm thinking of the positive parts of Ceres, which would be like a mother's nurturing or just nurturing in general. Like think of how ideally a mother nurtures, and then maybe transfer that onto your journey right now of like, how do you need to be nurtured to bring in more self-love? How do you need to care for yourself throughout this retrograde to bring in more self-love, whether that's emotionally or physically. There can be some insights coming through right now about what you need to better care for yourself, to soothe grief, to soothe difficult things that you're going through, right? Okay. As of the 18th, we're retrograde city. I'm not certain about the date, but I think that the candle casting with Karen on the membership is going to be on Tuesday, July 22nd. Check my socials for when I'm going to drop this. And you know what? Maybe I'll drop it in the feed here too when I make the flyer. I'll have to remember that so that my YouTube people that aren't on Instagram can find it. I'm on Instagram at Coyote Star Astrology, but oh man, the candle castings with Karen, you guys, they're so powerful. They're so powerful. She's been the most requested person to have on because they're so great. I really look forward to them. And this one is going to be all about this stuff that we're talking about right now, you guys. It's a new moon. It's a new moon in Leo. We're going to do it a couple days before so we can really, the new moon itself, I think, is on the 24th. Right there. Early degrees of Leo new moon. And we're doing the candle casting on the 22nd because if we did it on the 24th, we would miss the intention window, right? So we're going to set you up a couple days before so that those intentions you place through with your candle are super, super potent on the 24th. Okay. There is a Kazemi day. Did I miss it? Write this date down too. Oh no, I didn't miss it. All right, so we have the new moon. The new moon will be very creativity and self-love based for sure. The Kazemi is right here, like July 31st to August 1st. So a Kazemi is when the Mercury retrograde crosses the sun and the light of the sun lights up Mercury retrograde. So it tends to be an important day of some kind for your Mercury retrograde. So like if you're waiting, you're trying to figure something out, you're confused about something, Kazemi Day can sometimes bring in something you need to figure out. Or maybe sometimes it's like an important conversation or whatever. Okay. August, beginning of August is when things start to get a little crunchy and a little like heated up for a couple reasons. Number one, Mercury's going to station direct soon. There's a build up there. Number two, Pluto starts to come back into an opposition with Pluto, which is pretty intense. That will start to really wind up and we'll start to feel that more like August 7th to like 13th, 15th. August 7th to August 15th. What is that, like a week and a day? Potent. Whoa, like flashing lights, stars around it. Like, whoa, there's a lot going on because Mercury's going to go direct. Pluto's right there. Boom. Those are going to be big conversations, big decisions, kind of intense. Mercury's back, trining Saturn, Neptune. Projects are moving forward. It can be a little bit of a tower moment for some people, especially if they have anything like early degrees Scorpio or early degrees Taurus, because this is going to create a grand cross type of situation or T-square situation in their chart. Leo, planet Leo people too, if you got early Leo degrees. So I'll go through them again. Early degrees Scorpio, early degrees Leo, Taurus, or Aquarius. Boom. Lot going on there. And then the retrograde will dissipate over the next 2 weeks when post-shadow completes. I think it ends like August 22nd or something like that. Post-shadow is a little less important, guys, but if you want to be really pro about it and you want to be like really on it around like signing contracts and stuff, ideally you're not doing that until end of August when all of this clears away. And then we're going to plunge right into frickin' eclipse season. Jeez Louise. All right, now I'm going to show you how to find in your chart. Let's see. We'll use me. So you get your chart program, you pull your chart up, You pull the transits up. They'll always be on the outside. It's always going to look different, but it'll always be, for the most part, on the outside. And then you got to find where Leo rules your chart. So what you're doing is whatever chart you're using, you're looking around the outside and you're finding the cusp, which is the line that starts a house. So 5th house, the line that starts it, the line in front of the number. 4th, here's the cusp of the 4th house. 3rd, here's the cusp of the 3rd house. You find the one that's ruled by Leo. Mine's the 5th house. You may have 2 that are ruled by a sign. That's an intercepted house. That's fine. Pick the first one. Moving from Aries to Leo, pick the first one, and that's your house. And, you know, we're looking at 4 degrees to 15 degrees Leo. So usually there's little notches on the outside, but it's the first, you know, basically the first part of Leo. So, like, I don't know, we're going, here's 1 degree Leo here. So, like, probably to here, more or less, is going to be my retrograde. Now, I don't have anything, as you can see, in Leo. So this is more advanced, but hey, I'll put it out there for those that want to follow this deep. I certainly have a lot of Scorpio in those degrees. Look at that. My Venus is at 4 degrees. Mercury is at 14. So am I going to be impacted by this retrograde? Abso-fucking-lutely I am. Holy shit. This whole thing is going to square all of those planets for me. So that's what I'm talking about. You don't need to have anything in Leo for this to affect you. If you have anything from 4 to 15 degrees of the fire signs, which is Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, it's trining those planets for you. Now that's a positive thing. So this is actually trining my Saturn. So there's some big career stuff brewing, and there totally is. I've got a bunch of creative projects right now, almost more than I know what to freaking do with, to be honest. Feeling this Leo energy. So anyway, that's how you find it. That's how you break it down. And if you want to just be real simple and screw all that complicated stuff, just research the house. Mine's my 5th house. Research it, what house it is, and that's going to tell you what area of life this is going to impact for you. Okay, I just wanted to do a quick one on this, guys, so you guys have this information. I've missed my YouTube community. I've missed being on here. But again, we're doing tons of fun stuff over there. Maybe some of you will come and check it out. I thought there was something else I was going to say. What was it? I'm going to remember as soon as I turn the camera off. Readings. I'm still doing readings. I've actually been integrating some tarot into my readings, which has been really, really fun. Very powerful. I kind of use the tarot to bring in, like, if there's something. I use the chart as the foundation for the reading, just as I always have. We do the chart, and then at the end, I use the cards to sort of bring anything that might be more in the subconscious that wasn't discussed in the reading that needs to be. And it pulls through it opens some very interesting doors. So that's been really fun. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and a share. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you later. Bye for now.